Shalom, welcome to Torah in 6 minutes, 6 days of the week, and you get a full idea from the Rebbe. And we have to, obviously it's a continuation, so we're going to give a running start. And the angels wanted the Torah for themselves when Moses went up to heaven. And one of their big arguments was, we're next door neighbors, so to speak. I mean, we're spiritual, Torah spiritual, it belongs to us. And we had 5 different answers why that wasn't apropos, that it's a movable object. Moshe was holy also, he was also spiritual. And these are all good answers. But now we're going to even go deeper into that. On one hand, Moshe wasn't the only person that got the Torah. He says, well, I'm spiritual too. We called him an Ish Elokim, it's talked about. He's a godly man. Obviously, he was a human being, but he was so holy, he was a godly man, a very spiritual person, commune with God all the time, and he spoke out the Torah, which was God's Torah, so he was actually a very spiritual man. But that's very nice for Moshe, but the Torah is not given just to a few holy people, but the Torah is given to all the Jewish people, men, women, and children. Children learn Torah also, even though it's holy and we said so deep, but at every level, children understand what they understand, the stories that the adults and understand according to everybody. There's more deeper people than others, more intelligent people than others, but everybody understands. There's Torah for every person. So therefore, it's saying, well, we're not all surely not as great as Moses. So again, you could say, well, I'm holy, but what about this? Not Torah just given Moses saying, well, I want the Torah. I'm representing the entire Jewish people. So why should he get the Torah on behalf of all the Jewish people? We're surely not as spiritual, as holy as the other Jews. Another thing we said was that Moshe Rabbeinu saying, well, I'm a judge, and we just said it was, even though Moshe Rabbeinu was judging everybody in Yisro, his father-in-law, we said that says it's too much for any person, but it does say that any person who judges is as if you're a partner with the Almighty, meaning a true judge. Again, obviously it's got to be truth, but then that's what you're saying. This is what Torah says, this is what Torah decides, you're right, you're wrong, you owe the $100, etc., or whatever the case may be. And therefore, if you truly say a Torah decision, then really you're a partner with the Almighty, you're a partner with the creation, and that's something special also. So therefore, you're all part of godliness also. But that's, again, only if you judge properly. So that's an important, but all Jews really, on the other hand, that's a judge, and we're not all judges, and we all know exactly what Torah wants from every complication or argument, but it does say another thing. Anybody who keeps the Shavous, the Sabbath, properly, is also a partner in creation, because even though it's a beautiful world, a little bit it's imperfect. I mean, obviously we're imperfect. There's diseases, there's wars going on. Obviously it's not 100% perfect. I mean, it's a beautiful world. You look around the nature and the creation, but that's exactly what the Almighty wanted. He says, I didn't create 100% perfect world. I brought in the Jewish people here into the world in order to keep the Torah and the mitzvahs, and therefore there'll be partners in creation. And instead of being just an observer of, oh, isn't this a beautiful world, we could also have the biggest privilege saying, yeah, I was part and parcel of helping create the world, because that they needed to make it perfect, and we're working on it. We're helping out with charity to help the poor people, and we're helping to make peace in the world, and that makes us also partners in creation, because 6 days the Almighty worked and made a creation, and the 7th day he rested. So if you keep the Shabbos, the Sabbath, and you rest on Shabbos, so not just, well, it's nice to take a day off, but on the other hand, that we actually we're being partners in creation. So that's also like, again, not only Moshe Rabbeinu being spiritual, so to speak, but we're also part of the creation. We're also spiritual in our own way. Of course, we don't have the spirituality as Moshe Rabbeinu, as Moses, but when we do a mitzvah, even though we don't observe maybe how great spiritually we're accomplishing, but on the other hand, we truly are. We have to have that emunah, that faith, that we are accomplishing everything that we are supposed to, and that's very important for us to understand. Again, that's what we hope for the Mashiach Messiah, when we will see the accomplishment which we are actually happening, the actualizing nowadays. Right now, when you do the mitzvah, you just don't see it. But in any case, in the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, gave an example of just like, he didn't have direct deposit. He said put your coins in a safe deposit box, but the same idea is direct deposit. Hey man, I worked 40 hours a week. Where's my money? I want to see a $10 bill, a $20, a $100 bill. Where's those greenbacks? I want to see the money. Well, we just put it in your bank account. Well, I don't see it over here. I don't see any money, but it's there. And then, of course, that a person says, well, if you direct deposit it right into my bank account, I know I have it, and I am assured that I have been paid, even though I don't see any dollar bills flying in my face because of all the work that I worked this past week. So it's the same thing with us. Yes, we don't see immediately all the reward that we're going to get by doing a mitzvah, but again, like direct deposit, we have to be assured that we are getting paid and there is a great reward, and that's actually one of the reasons why we yearn for the Mashiach Messiah, because we want to see the beautiful, perfect world where there is peace and prosperity. Hopefully it comes very soon. Thank you.